Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was saying, I meant my partner, because obviously George said if it was your partner, so my partner's got electric shock, he's cut his hand or something. Now, I know his pain threshold and what he's like. I've been with him for 10 years.
If it's your partner, right, and he's crying, don't matter what pain he's in, he's crying. Whatever he's crying for, as his partner, wife, whatever, you should be concerned.
Oh, I'd be really concerned.
No?
I'd be really concerned.
I think that about one of my friends.
But he'd try and hold it back from me, but obviously, if he didn't, I wouldn't feel like
there is an element.
For
there
him.
is an element of like, don't cry, boy. You get that, right? And if you don't have that, and you cry at everything, you're going to be
if he was
weak.
a crybaby, I would just.
But that's the thing.
But there is a level.
Yeah.
Like I've got friends that I'd think, come on, like girlfriends that cry a lot.
And I'm not saying crying's a bad thing, because fuck me, you've seen me, you've had me in tears when we've done all that work, right? And I'm crying like a baby, and I've been under that hypnosis. Sounds like him.
Myxomatosis.
I've been in under hypnosis and all that, right? So I've been vulnerable, but you wouldn't see me cry over some, because I would hold it in. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Look, I you know what? Toxic masculinity, the way I see it, is anything outside the realms of a guy, because nowadays a lot of guys and young lads are effeminate. They're being raised in this kind of social conscious world, which is good to an extent, right? But then to be anything like a Neanderthal type of guy is toxic masculinity.
What about if you're like a Viking type dude, right?
Yeah, that's
you're
what I'm saying.
Look at me,
yeah,
right? But you're polite,
you're
respectful,
Thank
and
you.
you open doors for women, right?
No, you're not allowed to.
What's wrong with that?
Originally, it started where it was men were committing suicide. So that's how it came about. Men were committing suicide because they weren't talking, they weren't expressing their feelings, they weren't dealing with feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to cry every 5 minutes. It doesn't mean that you cry when you get a splinter. It just means that you deal with your feelings rather than something happening and you man up, don't talk about it and try and act, because that comes out in bad backs. It comes out in arthritis. It comes out in autoimmune disease.
I don't think it's more about not talking about something. I'm talking about like...
feeling it too.
Well, look, when Martin earlier on said, like, listen, if I'm working out in the rain, you're working out in the rain, and you're working out in the rain, why are you crying about it?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Right? So
that's different.
Then you turn around and you say, listen, son, man up.
Everyone else has got George, what she's trying to understand, I haven't heard it explained like that, right? And if that is what...
That's how it began.
If that's how it's batted about, that makes sense. That makes sense, George, right?
That does make sense.
However, what it's batted about is like, we're all arseholes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, because
and that's
then
bollocks.
it's been twisted.
Right?
Yeah.
However,
there's an agenda behind it. That's why.
Well,
because they don't want any masculine men.
You need one of them. Why don't they want masculine men?
Because they fight.
Yeah, but if that
for
man's
their rights.
fighting, yeah, but hold on. If you had a man, right, that will fight for your honour,
yeah.
Would you like that, or you won't like that?
Yeah, I thought women look like
but
a
there's
strong
a lot.
man.
Yeah, they do.
It's not women. It's not women.
Don't believe it. That's the thing.
It's
the
not
feminists.
women.
Feminists. It's the feminists that are calling
People
it
behind the feminists.
the ultra feminists, the ultras.
It's not even women.
It is women.
Hang on, George,
men that are giving other men, calling them toxic.
Listen, what she's hit the nail on the head, right? And she's going bigger picture shit, right? She's going like fucking Illuminati bollocks or whatever it is. Whoever the puppet masters are, right? Whoever they are, that's who you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not a, what he says, expert in any of this shit, it's just what I've heard via the interwebs.
Who's behind feminism?
Yeah. All the three main families or four main families, who they are, were a massive financial contributor to the feminist movement, right?
It wasn't
the
women.
Bilderbergs and all them
Rockefellers.
Yeah,
Rockefellers.
All them, right back when it was the suffragettes and all that, right? Because they wanted the feminists to rise up so they can split up the family home and break us all up. That's what it was about.
And they can tax 2 people in the home.
Well, that's going back to that last week.
But they're men.
1965 video. You know, what was his name? I forgot his name. Regardless, so it's like that's the horrible part of what is laid upon men in this title of toxic masculinity. You're showing your masculinity. Masculinity? No, it's not even masculine. It's just being a dude. Do you know what I mean? I've got me, like Rob says, I'd open a door for a lady.
Yeah,
you know, I'd fight for my lady's honour. I would stand up for her. You know, I would open the car door.
That's not toxic to me.
No, but it's like
no, but that
what is toxic?
What has been shown when you look it up, there's things like that. Women are saying, not all women, but some women are saying that we don't need you to open our doors.
Yeah,
you're being. It's that sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like,
what are you after?
What the thing is, right? In the there's a lot of these ladies on TikTok shouting out about how they got attacked in the street in broad daylight, and not one guy went to help them. That's because you said you don't need no man, and all these guys are cotton on. It's like, okay, I'll step back, because a lot of them they go in there. Yeah,
what real man's going to do that?
I've stepped in many a time, but then I've stepped in, and she's turned on me.
Yeah, that's my husband. Don't you push him? Don't get involved. Yeah,
while she's getting the shit beaten out of her. Now,
someone's saying don't get involved. That's fair enough.
Well, yeah, but you don't know that. All you're seeing is some dude beating up some lady.
Yeah,
you don't
and then
know
you
the
step
relationship.
in and they say don't get involved, then you just walk away. They're words, aren't they? Really.
The shift was when good men sort of pandered to what they
thought
what they thought that the women wanted. Then the shift was that women then stopped respecting men in public, but men being good men staying back, because that's what they thought that they were supposed to do in the new society. But then what happened, the shift was then women all of a sudden no longer respected men as a man, because a man's not allowed to be a man. So, and that was the shift. That was when the shift happened, when you started to see that women were now allowed to, you know, insult a man in public or attack a man in public, and the man has to stay good and stay true. And that was where the shift, and that's when things really sort of went bad, when the women stopped respecting the man's masculinity. That was the turning point.
But this is all like going back to what Susie was saying. This is all by design.
Oh yeah.
All this stuff that's come around is all by design, by the high echelons of society, the big money men of the world. This is all a part of breaking up the family home. This is all a part of the decline in society, the decline in childbirth. Our society has gone to shit. And when these women with these ideologies, they don't need no man, they don't need no man. Yeah, we all need somebody. It's as simple as that.
We all need connection. Everybody needs connection.
But then they don't realize this because they've been so brainwashed by this feminist movement that when they want their family, it's too late. They're too old because they've been told to focus on their careers.
Yeah, but that's all part of population control. It's a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
You can have it all.
This is going back to that video, 1965. You know, it's breaking up the home. You know, you didn't hear, if you listen to the last podcast, you'll see it. And we played a video clip. Again, 1965, this guy's come out and he said the way it's going to be. And like, we look around now and fuck me, it is. It's exactly the way he's explained it. You know, pills for everything, the break off the family home, porn, naked women on TV. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and you see an advert and they're advertising something like, what's that luxury bar of soap? Which one was it? You know, it's one of
almond imperial leather.
Imperial leather. Yeah, the square bar of soap.
She's in the bar.
And she's in bubbles. Yeah, but she's all covered from her neck down in bubbles.
Yeah.
You see a video, you see someone advertising shower gel that you're seeing a bit of tit, just you know, covering the nipple, a bit of the arse, side breast, and a little bit of the arse, and you know, you're like
dry sockets,
you get them, and you say to yourself, well, how the hell has it? All right, as a society, we all know what a body looks like. You only have to open up a magazine or so. How times have changed, how we've become more liberal in certain things, certain aspects. Does it make it right?
Is it liberal or just desensitized?
We have become desensitized because of the media. There's nothing. I mean, it's like. Okay, Hammer House of Horror. Remember their movies, Hammer House of Horrors? I used to shit myself when I was a kid. Frankenstein. You do remember? That might be way before your time. Hammer House of Horrors.
No, of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
famous.
but the 1970s. Yeah, and you got your Draculas,
Christopher
and
Lee, and all that.
Yeah, Peter Cushing and all them
Yeah.
dudes. Yeah. Now I'll go back though. I'm laughing. I used to shit my pants just watching Frankenstein.
Yeah, but you play a computer game now, and the graphics on that are more brutal than what we was watching in horror movies.
Yeah, they're horrible graphic.
The desensitization.
Yeah.
And we are getting more and more desensitized to these type of things. But it's not just that we're getting desensitized to. So we're getting desensitized to helping other fellow men. We've become desensitized to being helpful to anybody else apart from ourselves. To be more selfish, we've been pushed in that direction. To be more selfish, to get more materialistic things, like they will bring us health and happiness, and it's not. You know, as a matter of fact, the more we chase these things, the unhappier we are. We are living in a society that has everything. Well, I mean, England. Let's just take England. Our first world problems here. I don't have the latest game. What? There's kids starving over there. Others are being bombed over there, and you're worried about the fucking game, or you're worried about the latest clobber, latest trainers. What kind of society are we?
Thing is, George, it's not that now. It's you're worrying about feeding your kids.
Yeah.
And you're worrying about putting the clothes on their back. It ain't just about having the right game of things. The world's fucked. This country's fucked.
Yeah.
Right?
It's getting worse and worse.
It is. So, toxic masculinity is a phrase that has been invented by the feminist movement to put us down, put men down, because they believe that men have had it good for so long. And I don't believe that. Men are the ones who have had to go out and work in
the thing is, if you take on what she said, it's not what it's been invented for. It's been twisted to suit.
Yeah.
Right?
Other people's negative narratives of
but
men.
It wasn't invented for that. If the word was invented because people was hanging themselves and all the rest of it, like geezers were jumping off bridges, then that's fair enough. But it's been twisted.
Yeah, they still aren't.
Yeah, but
it's like the biggest killer.
But even so, how could that be classed as toxic? If a man is if guys are topping themselves left, right, and centre, how is that become
because
toxic?
The fact of not speaking, not feeling, not expressing is toxic. It's toxic to anyone.
George, what she's saying is, right, let's say you're not talking about your problems to anyone, yeah? And you're sitting there in silence.
It makes you ill.
God forbid this happens. Next week you go and throw yourself off the M25 bridge, right? We'd be like, why didn't he talk to us? Why didn't he talk to us? That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the toxic bit, right?
Well, and you don't because you got a man up.
Look, some guys are so like that, but not all. If I got a problem, I've spoken openly on air before, I will speak to a friend.
Yeah, but that's you.
And that's not toxic.
But I've grown up being through the 70s of hard knocks.
Yeah, but you've come out of it and you've mixed with people that are talking, and you've chosen that route.
No, I'll be honest with you, Rob. Most of my mates don't open up and talk, but I open up to them. Once I open up to them, they open up. It always just takes that one person.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
So I've always been one to open up, and I tend to find these friends of mine do not really speak to each other about their problems, but because they know I open up, and maybe one other in my group, opens up.
It's about being vulnerable.
But they know what I'm like, so they would open up to me, or I could sense there's something wrong, and I'm like, bro, what's up? Oh, gee, it's this or it's that, and then the conversation
because
starts.
We're not made to keep it all inside.
No.
And as women, we share, we get together, we connect, we share.
But that toxic. Sorry, guys. That toxic masculinity is done because a man doesn't want to look weak in front of a woman. A man won't talk his problems out with a woman.
It's men.
Right?
George, this goes back hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years, right? Because going back to cavemen and women, right? You girls just stay at home, look after the cave, right? You talk about all your shit while we go out and find a buffalo or whatever the fuck they killed back in the day. What in big thing, mammoth?
Rex. Sorry, guys. Let me just pause this. Guys, we'll be back in a sec.